Let me confess something. For years, I loved Sour Patch Kids. Still do. Sour trolley worms too. That initial shock, that sour punch to your taste buds. Then the sweetness, the reward, the payoff. I want some right now. And then one day I realized some of my relationships tasted exactly the same. Welcome back. I'm Law, author of Enunciate Your Needs. And today, we're talking about something many people experience, but few people understand. Toxic chemistry. And more specifically, why it feels so good. Because if we're honest, many of us didn't accidentally end up in toxic situations. No, sometimes we were attracted to them. I remember female friends of mine telling me, Law, you like toxic relationships. And every time they say it, I deny it immediately. No, I don't. That's not true. I just like passionate women. I just like spicy women. You know all the excuses. Until one day, I stopped. Got present, got honest, and I realized they might be right. Have you ever looked back at your dating history and noticed a pattern? Different faces, different names, same movie. Drop a yes if you've been there. And here's what changed everything for me. What if toxicity doesn't feel good because it's healthy? What if it feels good because it's familiar? Think about it. Most of us learned relationships before we even entered one. Through parents, family, television, movies, music, church, community. We watched, we absorbed, we modeled. And then later, we called it attraction. If you grew up around chaos, unpredictability, emotional highs and lows, then stability may feel boring to you. Not because stability is bad, because it isn't familiar. Read that again mentally. Some people don't struggle with healthy relationships. Some people struggle with unfamiliar relationships. Now let's talk about music. Because music taught many of us relationship dynamics before life did. How many songs growing up celebrated heartbreak, jealousy, revenge, drama, emotional chaos? And we sang every word over and over again. Breakups to makeups, that's all we do. First you love me, then you hate me, that's a game for two. Remember that one? Some of us didn't hear it. We practiced it. And you know the songs. Think about how many seeds were planted from those songs. And when we're singing them over and over and over again, they were like mantras. And then no wonder we practiced and we lived out those scenes. That passion, that rhythm and blues. Now think about television. What gets ratings? Drama, conflict, chaos, tension. Boy gets girl, boy loses girl. Girl leaves, boy chases, girl returns, repeat. Nobody watches a sitcom episode called Two Emotionally Healthy People Communicate Effectively. It's too boring, right? Growing up, what relationship model did you see most? Healthy? Unhealthy? Or a mix? Drop it below. I'm curious. Now, Toxic chemistry works like gambling. You don't know what version of the person you're getting today. They may be loving today, cold tomorrow, available Wednesday, distant Thursday, supportive Friday, combative Saturday. And the unpredictability creates anticipation. The anticipation creates dopamine. The dopamine creates attachment. Now you're addicted to the cycle, not necessarily the person. Some people aren't addicted to love. They're addicted to relief, the relief that comes after the chaos. Let that land. And this is why clarity matters. Because clarity interrupts fantasy. A clear person says, I want this, or I don't want that, or I'm interested, or I'm not interested. A vague person says, let's see, or we'll figure it out, or I'm just going with the flow. Or one of my favorites back in the day, not gonna front, I'm not ready for labels. Clarity creates peace, while vagueness creates stories. And this is where erotic intelligence enters. Because erotic intelligence asks, not do I want them, but why do I want them? That's a harder question. Do I want them because they're healthy, or because they are familiar? Do I want them because they're aligned, or because they trigger something old? For some people, the Cosby Show represented the dream, a functioning family, structure, love, communication, consistency. And people aspire toward it because examples matter. What we repeatedly see often becomes what we repeatedly seek. The older I get, the less impressed I am by chemistry. I've seen chemistry create chaos. I've seen chemistry create confusion. And I've seen chemistry create addiction. What interests me now is consistency, peace, honesty, accountability. I know some of y'all in the background like, yeah. And I'm interested now in communication. I've always been interested in communication, but now I have a better understanding of how to communicate, how to enunciate one's needs. Because those things sustain relationships, not butterflies, although I love butterflies. What's more attractive to you today? And be honest, chemistry or peace? Drop one word below. Maybe the goal isn't finding someone who gives you butterflies. Maybe the goal is becoming someone who recognizes patterns. Because once you recognize the pattern, you stop mistaking it for destiny. Sometimes the strongest chemistry you'll ever experience is actually a lesson, not a life partner. Sometimes attraction isn't showing you where you're going, it's showing you what still needs healing. So the next time somebody gives you butterflies, ask yourself, is this chemistry? Or is it familiarity? Because they're not always the same thing. The most dangerous attraction isn't the one you don't understand. It's the one you've mistaken for love. Now let's talk. What's one relationship pattern you finally recognize in yourself? Drop it below. Because your honesty might help somebody else recognize theirs. Appreciate your time. Till the next time.